Yeah, let's talk Rugby World Cup then. James Cole is in Nice with the Wales squad. James Savundra is in Nantes with Ireland. Let's start then. Hello, gentlemen. Let's start with the world's #1 side. James Savundra, Ireland. Talk us through the team they've picked to take on Tonga.
Good evening to you, Mike. Yes, Ireland arrived in Nantes a few hours ago and named their side. We weren't quite sure in the build-up to this game how strong Andy Farrell would go. He was at near full strength for the opening match against Romania last weekend, and with that huge game on the horizon against South Africa, the world champions next weekend, you thought there may be some rotation, but anything but. Just 4 changes named by the Ireland head coach for the crucial game against Tonga this weekend. He names Mack Hansen for the first time. He starts a match at the Rugby World Cup. Conor Murray, in what is his 4th World Cup, he starts for the first time. Then you've got Ronan Kelleher coming into the front row. And also Josh van der Fleer, how can we not mention him, the world's #1 ranked player. And we were at the Ireland training base a little bit earlier today, and we caught up with Andy Farrell, and I asked him about naming such a heavily favourite team and what he's going to do and why he considered not making such a heavy rotated side for this match.
There's always temptation because as far as selection is concerned, we go through every single different types of permutation. But at the end of the day, it's what's right for the team. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, really, in some circumstances. But the only thing that I care about is winning this weekend. You look at what could happen, what does happen to people in training. You give people a so-called rest, and you've seen people. I mean, we had Robbie pull out of the captain's run last week and missed the game. You've players now getting injured in training and missing the competition. So, people could be resting this weekend and be ill for next weekend, etc. So, we'd like to go with what we've got: a fit side, a good side, and build a momentum through the competition.
So James he's picked a really strong side, which includes Johnny Sexton at 10. Has that raised eyebrows?
Yeah, Mike, that was a big talking point heading into the match this weekend. What would Andy Farrell choose to do with the captain, Johnny Sexton? He became Ireland's oldest player to feature at a Rugby World Cup at the age of 38 last weekend against Romania. He managed more than an hour in what was his first match since March due to injury and suspension. And this weekend, he's set to break the record that Ronan O'Gara set, 1,083 points. He's within 9 points of that, so you would expect him to break that this weekend. I caught up with Johnny Sexton earlier and I said to him, do you welcome the opportunity to build your match sharpness when so many Ireland fans were hoping that you may be wrapped up in cotton wool this weekend?
Tonga are a very good team and they've got some very, very good players. They've had a massive boost with their selection with the players that have come back to play for them. So some of the questions, I suppose, aren't really reflecting the way we're preparing and the way we're talking within camp. So yeah, we're expecting a very tough game against top class opposition with very good coaches, so it's going to be a tough game.
So Johnny Sexton once again captains Ireland this weekend. This will be his final World Cup, his final few weeks as a professional player as he bids to get Ireland out of a really challenging pool featuring South Africa and Scotland. But up next for them in Nantes, it's a game against Tonga on Saturday evening. But 700 miles away from me, James Cole is in Nice, where the Welsh are gearing up for their next match.
Good evening from the Côte d'Azur, where Warren Gatland has been speaking. As you say, Wales are in town preparing to take on Portugal, and Gatland speaking today after he made 13 changes to the side that beat Fiji. Notably, he's bringing back some big players from injury, namely co-captain and hooker Dowie Lake, lock David Jenkins, and fly half Gareth Anscombe, who missed the World Cup 4 years ago with an injury and has just come back from injury. So we're looking forward to seeing Anscombe in particular play against Portugal here. Wales, they went well, didn't they? They went well against Fiji, a crucial win. Only 2 players from that game, though, remain in the side. Taulupe Faletau and Lewis Rees-Zammit, the only survivors. Faletau coming back from a calf injury, so he needs a bit more game time. Not many people gave Wales much of a chance ahead of the start of this World Cup because of the poor Six Nations and their poor warm-up form. But Gatland was talking up their chances, and he says, do not write us off.
We've always been confident in the past about World Cups and the opportunity to get the team together for an extended period. We think that we have done well in previous World Cups. We'd like to get to a final of the World Cup, and stated beforehand that, you know, don't write us off, and this team's capable of doing something pretty special, and I still believe that. Part of one of the key themes or the key messaging before this World Cup, and in fairness to Dowie, he mentioned during the week that, you know, make sure we're a bloody hard team to beat, and if you're a hard team to beat, then things can happen for you, and you get a group of players working for each other, putting that jersey on, that they're passionate about playing for their country, passionate about playing for Wales. They recognise the history, what it means to the fans and the public and their families to represent their country, and if you get those things right, then things can happen for you, and that for us that means a heck of a lot, and I can promise you that when the guys go out in the weekend or any game, they're going to give, you know, everything to play for their country.
As for England, they play Japan here 24 hours after Wales play. England, though, choosing to stay in their training base as long as possible. That's 750 miles north at Le Touquet on the northern coast of France. England are going to train there tomorrow morning. They're going to fly down here in the afternoon, and then Steve Borthwick will name his squad in the evening. We will bring that to you as soon as he does, and we will hear from Steve Borthwick from the team hotel. England, remember, taking on Japan. Japan have made a name for themselves in terms of causing World Cup upsets, most famously South Africa in 2015, but then 4 years ago in Japan they beat Ireland and Scotland, so England will not be taking them lightly.